All right, video 6. I think it's 6. Yeah. Video 6. So what we're doing here is we left off with the chiseling out this vein material here within reason, and so I still got some here. Okay, maybe not. So now we're just going to go ahead and take the file to this, so that when we start packing this with the wood filler, then it will it'll be more ready for it, and I can just basically use this little chisel to kind of make sure it is about level with the areas around it, right? And that's partially why we needed to be filing it as it will be, so that when we pack this stuff into it, it's going to be easier to get it in there at the appropriate level, and then we can just kind of scrape off some of the excess and then see how that works. I might leave a little bit extra left in here so I can sand or chisel it off, but eventually I have to, or file, probably file. I don't know how hard this stuff is, so we're gonna have to play that by ear, because I've not used it. It's not a brand I've used in the past that I can recall, and if I did, it wasn't for wands. So been too long. Oops, we missed some spots here. There we go. That should be good enough. I think we got at least 90% of it there. Okay, cool. Time to file. Okay. This is typically the second file I use. I know the first file is just going to be too rough. Thought I made a mistake there. If I put some pressure on that, it was going to break the lawn. Alright, first we're just going to go over this. If some of you watched my videos in the past, then you'll know this, but we're just going to go over this with the file to check the general shape, and then we'll start finishing out some of these smaller areas, because I want these longer strokes here to help make the file, help make the wand a little bit more uniform across that area. It's fairly flat. There's still some areas that are a little bit more raised than others, but it's not terribly noticeable. We still have to do the handle and all that, but the flattening out of the wand seems to be pretty much there. You saw part of that area crumble, and that's pretty common with this. Just like you'll see some tear out here from the file as it catches edges, and there really isn't anything we can do about that significantly, other than just use a finer and finer file on it, so that the grooves are smaller, and so there's gonna be less catch. This is pretty. You can see how brittle some of this wood is here. Let's go ahead and take a look. We're not nearly done with filing this handle yet, but kind of get just a better indicator of what shape the wood's in. Also, we'll need to go out at this because of all these different shapes. I need to file it both ways. Makes me nervous right about here. A lot to catch on. You can see the file is kind of getting caught here and there. I'm also having to hold it really loosely. I'm putting almost no pressure on it at all. Just using the weight of the file to add the pressure to it. And I could adjust that if I need to. And I would do that by, I could either prop this file and then move the wood underneath it, which is not the best way to go. Or I could literally scrape slide the file itself against the table, and the table will take the back part of the weight of it to reduce the weight that my hand puts on it and the pressure on the wand. So several ways you can do that. Scraping the handle on here to take part of the pressure off the wand is probably the best way to go. You can see it's pretty, wood's kind of flaking off here. See if we can get a better idea here. I'm still seeing grooves and stuff like that with this. I'll probably have to get those out mostly by sanding, to be honest. Some rough edges here, but that's all right. It's going to get filled. And the edges are rough because the sides just kind of flaked off when I was using the file, but there's still some hard lines here that I want to get rid of. Real careful here. That wood's just kind of splintering off. Okay. I think it's, I mean, you can see some tool marks here, but it should come off with some sanding, I think. So let's just go ahead and give this a sand, and just kind of go from there, because I want to get rid of some of this fuzzy stuff on it, where it's still attached but mostly flaked off, and it didn't get the memo. So I'm not 220. Where's my 180? Well, you know what? 220 might be a better way to go. Let's do that. All right. Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, see, it's getting caught on stuff here. I need to you tell I haven't sharpened this in forever. And what happened there is it probably just chipped off with the, split off with the, there. Now that area's a little rough. I don't like that. With, the file. So, yeah, see, it's just going to keep happening. It's unfortunate. Looks like there's a vein there, and that's why. Alright, well, that's a little more understandable then. Okay. Alright, that's a little more understandable. I mean, that's just part of working with banyan wood. Yeah, have another one happening right here. Just go ahead and split that. Same issue. Oops, looks like we found a vein we didn't get to last time. Well, unsat. That's fine. Okay. All right. Yeah, you might be able to see how hard those edges are there. Okay, I think the rest of that might cooperate. I'm having some problems here now. Same reason. Yeah. I mean, you can kind of see how much, I mean, I save a lot of time with ease of working with the wood, with it being kind of ready to sand and file much more quickly, but that in turn also leads to stuff like this. But again, it's just part of working with this wood. And I don't mind working with challenging wood and challenging pieces. I'm pretty realistic in my expectations of, oh shit. Same issue here. I'm tired of dealing with this. It's just, same issue, and this goes into here, which is probably part of the issue. Should have just cleaned that edge out, and I didn't do it. Oh shit! Oh, right here. Okay. Okay. But this particular banyan tree is, I think they said it was several hundred years old, so that's pretty neat. I mean, I grew up around oaks, and some of the places I lived over a couple hundred years old, but the size of that banyan tree, as it kind of overtakes the tree that it was feeding off of. Here, we got another edge. It's pretty immense. It's pretty impressive. You can see it up at Turtle Bay. It's the banyan tree at Turtle Bay. And at some point, I'll just have to stop and call it. Isn't much I can do about that, and it does kind of bring to light and showcase that with my particular wand made from that tree, how lucky I was to keep it intact like that. All right, that. A little bit of a hard edge there. So now we got to go back to sanding all of this again because new faces have appeared. Oops, guess I missed some here. This newly created opening. Okay, I think that might stabilize that side with all that stuff gone. We'll have to see. And part of it's this, that I'm using super thin sandpaper and it collects, it catches on edges because of how thin it is. Man, this is really long. Damn. I don't even know if that's going to fit in a wand box. If I did, I'd have to take off from this end, because I can't really take off from the tip, or it's going to affect the entire rest of the wand. So we'll have to see. I may just have to ship it in a special box. And the bad thing about the good thing about that is that I can come across those boxes pretty easily. But my wand boxes are 16 inches long, and it's typically more than enough. Sometimes I have to cut an inch or two off, and I feel a lip right here. I hope it's not an opening for me. Putting a little bit of pressure on that to get the sandpaper inside of the edges there. Pretty good, pretty pleased. You don't see many markings on it at all. Those would come off with some of the final sandings. The tip's in pretty good condition. It looks a little odd because this area is chunked out, but that'll get filled in and it should be okay. I am concerned about this lip right here. I should just go ahead and address that now, I think. Same thing that's been happening down here. It's a little mini cave in here, and I need to address it or I'm going to have the same kind of problem. There, so you just kind of flipped itself off. Clean the area up. Okay. Let's give it some TLC here. Smooth those edges down. Okay. I think at this point I'm going to have to probably rinse the wand and then let it dry, and then we'll start working on filling it in. And then work on the final sanding and things like that after that. So I'm going to go ahead and call this video. I'm going to rinse this wand off, let it dry, and then we'll pick back up once it's dry. All right, have a good one.